Okay, now for the final chapters of Little Hutter. Well, she successfully repaired the Jellic Mifflin. And so, chapter 13, Arch Lioness. Little Hutter raised higher hands, encouraging the crowd to quell its bumption. The crowd quelled. Bright-eyed, smiling, the Obblers drank in the sight of their new leader. Would she speak? She would. What would she say? The following. Obblers all, I have been brought to the caverns of Obble to be your arch lioness. Here a cheer erupted. Subdue, subdue, thank you, to continue. Before I knew nothing of this, before I was a troubled wanderer, a banished Hutter youngling far from the friendly oak fields of my Hutter home. Then what happened? I was led to the oranary by the learned Under Lioness. Here the Under Lioness bowed her head in modesty. The oranary appeared, eyes I could not look away. From its eyes knowledge flew, a fireball of wisdom, a fireball that knocked me flat and filled my head with lore and custom, fate, who I am, why I am, what I must do. As I have learned, and you knew at once, my face is her face. I am the image of her younglinghood. Bow honor to the departed arch lioness. Here the throng of Obblers bowed as one. I will now relay the final words of your former arch lioness, now flamed to Oranir. Her final words for you, the Obblers. The last lightning bolt of comprehension she was able to hurl at me. The words blossomed thus. When I go to live on the sun, fare most heartily well. Here the Obblers glanced at one another and nodded. Though I am a small Hutter maiden 8 bar years high, I am prepared to take the vow of Gimpus. Here there were murmurs of approval. However, before I pledge myself forever to remain here in the caverns and shafts, I have a final Hutter duty to perform. There is a rip in the fabric of my family. I must undertake a short par journey to mend it. I leave instantly. Here there were murmurs of protest. Subdue, subdue. Mark it down in palm-pear dye. I will return. This is a pledge before my vow. Accepted, said the Under Lioness. Obblers, look you well on the fires in the Jellic Miffin's eyes. Truth is truth. Obblers, look you well on the face of this Hutter youngling. Image is image. Obblers, the wheels gleam. The wheels gleam. The ropes are thick and strong. The test of Gimpus, our sworn duty, has been revived. Yes, we will wait a few more days. Yes, the vow will be pledged, the hood bestowed. Can we Obblers practice patience? Can we Sabik Orin? Here the Obblers shouted, yes. Good then, let us send this Hutter youngling on her Hutter way. The sooner she goes, the nearer her return to take up her lifelong place as the arch lioness of Obble. Here a great roar of a cheer filled and echoed the caverns and the tunnels and the shafts. Go, youngling, make haste. Our hearts journey with you. Wheels, pulleys, cranks, squeak and creak. The marble pit opened above. Sprung, a lever was pushed. A stairway ladder appeared in the wall. Up it went to the marble ramp. What ramp? The ramp to the false image wall. Clank. The ramp with the grind and tremble split to become stairs. Little Hutter climbed the ladder, turned a wave, stepped up the ramp stairs, and disappeared through the false wall. Gone. She was gone. Clank. Grind and tremble. The marble ramp was again a ramp. Clank. The stairway ladder was sealed in the wall. Squeak and creak. The marble pit closed above the Jellic Miffin. Is the kettle ready? Asked the Under Lioness, and the Obblers scurried and scrambled here and there, preparing a hunger feast. Chapter 14, Oatfield Home. Hota, little snack, your luck it holds. I have only recently eaten my fill of ferns, rumbled a voice in the dark. Dark, dark night pitch. What news? Ogre, is that you? Asked Little Hutter, squinting and peering. Why is it, do tell, that you, little snack, are so sharp in your knowledge of me? Why do you not make the fatal blunder? Why do you not call me Ogress? How have you known that such an utterance is cause for instant snackdom? Mused the rumbly voice. I am Hutter educated, raised on ogre lore and oaths. I know shame. No, enough. True request. I ask an ogre boon, said little Hutter, stamping a soft lime boot in the muck. Spluck. What? You ask an ogre boon? Snack, you astound me. You are a marvel of intelligence. My ears curl with respect. Ask away, said the voice, moving closer. I have a need to get to the oat fields by dawn. I have a task to perform. The ogre boon I request is that you carry me through the night with ogre speed and ogre vision to the innerest of the outer orchards. There I further request that you wait the day through till moon's rise night for me to complete my errand. Then I further and finally request that you bring me back here with ogre speed and ogre vision so that I might take the vow of Gibbous and assume my rightful and leftful position as Arch Lioness of Obble, boldly proclaimed little Hutter. Done, Arch Lioness to be, roared the ogre with glee. And it was. It was what? It was done. Whish, cling, galactic strides, the ogre whimmed zippy, the innerest of the outer orchards was reached well before the appearance of the first streak of dawn. The ogre ribboned red bonnet ornamenting her head set little Hutter on the ground. Wait here, whispered little Hutter, not wanting to disturb the birth of the day. She moved as if in a trance. A lump came into her throat, glistened her eyes. Why? She walked in the oat fields of her own Hutter homeland. Waist-high the grain, she brushed the tassels with her pale blue hand. Sigh, shame, she knew her brother's name. Across the fields, a red and white striped conical cottage pointed at the sky. She approached. She gathered all the courage she could find. She shifted her weight from foot to foot, hugging herself, unable to take the final few steps. She took a deep breath. Another. A step. Another. She opened the door. Little! Cried Middle, dropping smash, her bowl of oatmeal. Mother Hutter, Father Hutter, and eldest sister came flying down the ladder. Such a boil of a hubbub, such a spin of yappity grins, the hopping, the hugs and pinches, the tears. And so in time the burst of happiness subsided. Then fell over the Hutter family a long pause of shyness tinged with shame, embarrassment, shifting glances, gentle coughs. Assembled at the round oaken table, the family sat. More oat cream on that, little Hutter? Asked the Mother Hutter in a quivering voice. Yes, you should be hungrier, added the Father Hutter briskly. Unasked questions floated in the air, hung there, waiting to be popped. They drifted and bumped together. Little Hutter, determined and ready, decided to answer them without another inch of delay. Mother, Father, eldest, middle, I will tell you where I have been and what I have done. No, I did not go to Fiddlyboat Castle. I went to find our brother. Cash of a cup to the floor, chalkiness in the cheeks of all who listened. Hold, it's all to the good, to niceness. I found him. The tremble of Mother Hutter's hands. He is well and strong, renowned in his realm. His Hutter goodness is legion beyond compare. And Mother, he follows the Hutter way. Blink, fresh spill of tears. He sends a message. He says to all of us that he regrets the shame and never again will he speak his name. Quietly weeping Hutter family. I'm leaving to live with him. Family should have family. It is the Hutter way. Eldest, use my rake. Middle, take my hoe. I don't need them. Brother has constructed a marvel store cone of oat tools. Has he fine fields? The Father Hutter managed to ask in a strangled voice. The finest, lied little Hutter firmly. The day was a blink to little Hutter, and the night was cruel to arrive so soon, but it did, with both moons full. And they, the moons, looked down on the sight. What sight? A red-bonneted ogre striding swiftly through the outer orchards on a speed-move stroll straight for the chasm of Cron. The ogre's burden was light. The ogre's burden clung to the matted hair of the mighty beast's thickly muscled shoulders. The burden sobbed into the ogre's neck. The burden was on its way to take the vow of Gibbous and wear the well-sewn hood of Arch Lioness of Obble. Chapter 15, Cavern Home. In the caverns of Obble, the kettle mounted high on platters. Ash dripped through mash filters into spigoted urns. Ash, honey, charcoal, wine. Bustle, preparation, the under lioness supervised all, sprinting here to instruct, there to arrange. The Jellic Mithin's angled body was polished to sparkleshine. Torches were given fresh coatings of buckle tar. Sconces were rubbed to gleaming. All elements were balanced to fall into place. The obblers were ready. Ready for what? For the vowing and the hooding. Fair and true, all obbler hair on all obbler heads had been combed free of snags for the first time in years. Ceremonial cloaks had been blast-whacked, dusted, which set off a terrible sneezing display. From shafts and tunnels all obblers arrived and assembled in lines by row. They gazed in wonder at the sparkle-shine angles of the Jellic Mithin. Never an obbler member had the Jellic Mithin shone so bold. The Underlinus called for calm. "Calm, calm, obblers, calm," she called, standing under the angled chin of the Jellic Mithin. "Prepare to lever the opening." An obbler with green hair and greener skin flung herself to the wall with a great flappity flapping of her cloak. She stood poised, hands a-tremble and curled to grasp one particular certain lever. The Underlinus nodded. The green-haired, greener-skinned obbler grunted, shoving the lever down. Click, clack, squeak, and creak. Wheels and cogs. The marble pit opened above. Then what? Then nothing. The obblers waited. They waited in expectation. They waited, confident she would appear. In the cracked cavern, they waited in lines by row. In lines by row, they circled the Jellic Mithin. Their faces were raised to watch the false red wall in the quiet orange torchlight. Pause. Pause. A far-off sound from beyond the false wall. Strides? Ogre strides? "Prepare to chant," commanded the Underlinus. The false wall rippled. Little Hutter appeared, jumping on the ramp and sliding down to fly to a soft landing on the Jellic Mithin's head. "Chant!" cried the Underlinus, and she spun a whirl of joy. "Ooh," chanted the obblers. The thrilled tingle swirled Little Hutter to gel, comforted. The Underlinus cut the chant with a single chop of her hand through the air. "The vow of Gibbous, repeat after me," instructed the Underlinus with placid dignity. "To test the Gibbous of passing strangers." "To test the Gibbous of passing strangers," repeated Little Hutter in a clear, strong voice. "I vow to maintain the Jellic Mithin," said the Underlinus. "I vow to maintain the Jellic Mithin," called out Little Hutter. "As Arch-Lioness of Obble," concluded the Underlinus. "As Arch-Lioness of Obble," fairly shouted Little Hutter, and she looked down on the sea of obbler faces gazing up at her in admiration. And when she took up the cloak, which all the while had been hanging from the Jellic Mithin's angled ear, and carefully drew it around her shoulders, and raised its well-sewn hood to cover her black Hutter hair, the shrieks of delight and the flinging of cloaks and the heel-toe jigs and the feasting on cattle and the splashing and drinking of esh and so on and so forth began. And it continued for a long, long while. Little Hutter was Little Hutter no more. She was the Arch-Lioness of Obble, and never was there one more beloved, more noble, kinder, and yet, fair and true, down all the years, she knew her brother's name. The end.